The night was quiet on the human colony of New Terra. Cold wind moved through the tall grass. The sky was dark and clear, filled with silver stars that looked peaceful and harmless. A few lights from the colony wall blinked softly, like sleepy eyes trying not to close. Everyone was resting, believing the night would stay silent, but the universe had different plans. Captain Mira Hale walked alone on the West Patrol Bridge. She liked the night shift because it gave her time to think. Her boots made a soft sound on the metal floor as she moved. She felt calm, relaxed, almost bored. Suddenly, the ground under her feet began to tremble. At first, she thought it was a minor quake, something normal on this planet. But then she heard the sky tearing open. A burning line of bright orange fire cut across the darkness above her. It was moving fast, too fast for any human ship. The alarms of the colony started screaming as red lights flashed everywhere. Myra grabbed the railing and looked up at the falling object. Smoke trailed behind it like a long, dark tail. The object shook violently, spinning out of control. Then the loudest explosion Myra had ever heard blasted across the forest. The crash lit up the night like daylight for a moment. Flames rose between the trees, sending sparks into the air. Animals screamed and ran, echoing in the distance. The colony wall shook as if a giant fist had struck it. Mira wasted no time. She jumped down the steps and ran toward the main gate. Soldiers were waking up, confused and frightened, but Myra's voice cut through the noise. Strong and clear, "Stay here and protect the colony. I will check the crash site," she ordered. No one argued. Because everyone knew Mira never showed fear. She grabbed her rifle and her scanner, then ran into the dark forest alone. The smell of smoke grew stronger with every step. Trees were broken and burning, leaves falling like glowing ash. A deep scar in the ground led her forward, showing where the ship had slid. Sparks danced around her boots as she moved carefully. Soon she reached the crash site, and what she saw made her heart stop for a moment. It was not a human ship. The metal was silver blue with strange glowing lines running across it. Sharp wings were bent and twisted like broken arms. The door was open, smoke pouring out of it. Mira lifted her rifle and stepped inside. The air was hot and tasted like burnt metal. Wires hung from the ceiling like dead snakes. Something inside the ship was moving, slow and weak. Myra pointed her rifle at the shape, ready for anything. Then she saw her, an alien warrior woman, tall and strong, even while injured. Her skin was pale blue, her hair silver, and her eyes glowing softly. She wore cracked armor and had wounds across her arms. She looked up at Mira with fear, true fear. Her legs shook as she slowly dropped to her knees. She raised her hands, showing she had no weapons. Her voice trembled as she spoke English. "Please, don't kill me, human. I'll warm your bed if you let me live." Mira froze, shocked by the alien's words. The woman's fear was real, deep, desperate. Why would a warrior kneel like this? Why would she offer such a strange promise? What had she been told about humans that made her beg like this? The ship groaned and sparks rained down around them. Myra stepped closer, her expression unreadable. "Who are you, and why did you come here?" she asked. But the alien only lowered her head and whispered again, "I don't want to die." Please. The night outside was silent again, but now the silence felt dangerous. The crash was only the beginning. Mira's rifle stayed steady, but inside her mind, a storm was rising. She had seen alien warriors before, strong and proud, never afraid, never weak. But this one was shaking on her knees like a frightened child. Her silver eyes were wide, full of terror. Her breath came in short gasps. She was not pretending. Myra could see that clearly. The alien tried to speak again, her voice thin and unsteady. "My name." "Sira, warrior of the Cathari clan," she whispered. Her hands stayed raised, her palms open, showing complete surrender. Mira had never seen a Cathari warrior surrender. The story said they fought until their last breath, Yet here she was, kneeling in a broken ship, begging a human for mercy. Mira stepped closer, her boots crunching on broken metal. Sira flinched, as if struck, her shoulders tightening in fear. This made Mira pause. Why would an elite warrior fear a single human soldier this much? Something about this situation felt wrong. Twisted, deeper than it looked. "Why did you say that to me?" Mira asked in a calm voice. "Why did you offer?" That, Sira swallowed hard, her throat trembling. "Because I know humans torture prisoners. I know humans kill slowly. I know humans break those they capture," she said. Mira blinked in confusion. That was not true, not even close. Where had she heard such lies? Who was feeding her people this fear? Mira lowered her rifle slightly, but did not relax completely. "Who told you these things?" she asked. Sira hesitated, looking at the broken floor. "My commander. My teachers." "Everyone," she whispered. "They said humans enjoy pain. They said you take trophies. They said you keep prisoners as personal servants." Her voice cracked as she added softly, "So I offered to be one, to live, to survive." For a moment, Mira felt something tighten in her chest. Pity was dangerous. She knew that. But the fear in Sira's eyes was real, painful, heavy. This was not a warrior trying to trick her. This was someone who had been taught to fear humans her whole life. Mira took a slow breath. "I'm not going to hurt you," she said firmly. Sira's eyes widened, confusion mixing with fear. "Why?" "You're not." "No," Mira said. "But I still need answers." The crashed ship groaned again, metal twisting under heat. Mira motioned for Sira to stand, but when Sira tried to get up, her legs shook too hard and she fell back to her knees. She was injured worse than Mira first thought. A deep cut on her side was bleeding through her broken armor. Her breathing was uneven, almost painful. Mira moved closer and grabbed Sira's arm to lift her. Sira gasped in fear and shut her eyes tight. But Mira only supported her weight gently. "Relax," Mira said. "If I wanted to kill you, I already would have." Slowly, Sira opened her eyes, watching Mira with disbelief. As if kindness from a human was something impossible, Mira helped her out of the burning ship. The night air outside was cooler, but the forest was still glowing with orange fire from the crash. Ash drifted like snow around them. Sira limped as she walked, leaning heavily on Mira. Every step looked painful, but she did not complain. She seemed too scared to speak unless spoken to. Mira led her to an abandoned outpost nearby. It was old, half broken, but safe enough for now. When they reached the entrance, Sira suddenly pulled back. Fear again shone in her eyes. "Are you taking me to be questioned, tortured?" she asked with a shaking voice. Mira stopped and looked at her directly. "No," she said. "I'm taking you somewhere safe so you can tell me the truth." Sira stared at her, shocked, confused, breathing fast. And then she whispered something Mira did not expect. "You're different." But before Mira could respond, a deep growl came from the darkness behind them. Something was moving in the forest. Something big, slow, and hungry. The danger was not over. Sira might not be the only one hunted tonight. Mira held her breath as the night beast sniffed around the steaming blood on the forest floor. Its long, sharp snout scraped the dirt, searching for fresh heat. For a moment, it seemed confused, turning its head left and right. This small delay was the only reason Mira and Sira were still alive, hidden behind the fallen tree. They stayed completely still. Only the sound of their slow breathing filled the dark space between them. When the beast finally wandered in the wrong direction, Mira exhaled slowly. Sira leaned heavily against her, her energy nearly drained. Her bandaged wound was leaking again, a thin trail of blue blood soaking through the cloth. Mira looked at her with concern. "You need medical help soon," she said. Sira shook her head weakly. "There is no time. I must tell you the truth before they find us." Mira nodded, helping Sira sit back against a large tree trunk. The moonlight fell softly across Sira's face, revealing exhaustion and pain, but her eyes held something stronger: determination. A warrior's fire still burned inside her, even if her body was failing. Sira reached again into the broken part of her armor. Her fingers brushed the metal device she had shown Mira earlier. She held it gently, like something fragile. This device. It holds the real story, the messages. "The secret orders," she whispered. Myra leaned closer, listening carefully. "You said someone betrayed you?" Sira nodded. Her voice low and tight. "My commander, Vecron. He is part of a secret faction inside my clan. They want war with humans." Mira felt a chill run through her chest. "Why?" she asked. Sira looked up, her expression dark. "War means power. Land, weapons, and control of the clans." She took a shaking breath and continued. "Peace is a threat to men like Vecron. He cannot rise if humans and Cathari work together." Myra understood all too well. She had seen humans like that, tool leaders who used fear to climb higher. But using Sira as the spark of a war was something else. It was cruel, deep, and planned with cold precision. Sira opened the device, revealing blinking red lights and a recorded message. The distorted voice of her commander played through the small speaker. "You will take the scout ship and approach the human colony. Your death will mark the start of our cleansing." The voice said, "We will recover your body and blame the humans. The clans will unite under my command." Mira clenched her fists. The message was clear and unforgiving. A murder plan disguised as honor. A war built on lies. Sira closed the device again, her hands shaking. "I couldn't let him use me. So I stole the device and ran," she said. "He ordered his soldiers to kill me before I could reach human space." Her voice grew weaker. "The beast. It wasn't the only thing chasing me. Cathari hunters are out there too." Myra's mind raced. If Sira's enemies found her first, they would finish what they started. If humans found Sira without context, they might panic. And if this device fell into the wrong hands, war would be unavoidable. Sira reached out and gripped Mira's sleeve gently. "You must take me to the communication tower," she said. "It is the only place high enough to send the truth to both sides." Mira shook her head slightly. "That tower is far. And this forest is full of dangers." Sira gave a small, shaky smile. "I don't need to walk. I only need to stay alive long enough." Before Mira could answer, a loud branch snapped somewhere behind them. Not the beast this time. Something moved with more intelligence, more purpose. Sira's eyes widened. "They found us," she whispered. "Not the creature." "My clan," Mira raised her rifle, her heartbeat steady but intense. Two shadows moved between the trees. Silent but deadly Cathari soldiers, hunting their own warrior. Sira tried to stand, but her legs gave out. Mira caught her, holding her close. "You're not dying today," she said firmly. "Not on my watch." The forest grew still, waiting for the fight to begin, and the conspiracy that started in darkness was about to explode into the open. The forest fell into a dangerous quiet as the two Cathari soldiers stepped out from the shadows. Their armor gleamed under the moon, sharper and cleaner than Sira's broken gear. Their eyes glowed the same cold silver, but with no fear-only purpose. They held long energy spears that hummed softly, ready to strike. Mira held her rifle steady as Sira leaned against her for support. Sira's breathing was shallow, but her eyes were alert, fixed on the soldiers who once fought beside her. The taller soldier stepped forward, his voice hard and emotionless. "Sira of the Cathari. You will surrender," he said. "You have broken the ancient code. You have stolen forbidden information. Your life is forfeit." Sira tried to stand straight, but her legs trembled still. She lifted her chin with pride. "I broke no code," she said weakly. "I only uncovered the truth you all refused to see." The soldier raised his spear, pointing it at her chest. "You will return with us," he said, "either alive or in pieces." Mira stepped in front of Sira, blocking the spear with her body. Her voice was low but sharp. "You'll have to get through me first." The soldiers paused, confused that a human would defend a Kathiri. One of them hissed softly, "She has corrupted you." Mira didn't lower her rifle. "No," she said, "you lied to her. You lied to everyone." She lifted the small device Sira had shown her earlier. "This proves everything." The soldiers tensed the moment the red lights blinked. "Destroy it." The second soldier shouted, "Do not let the truth leave this forest." Before Myra could respond, the first soldier lunged. The energy spear sliced through the air toward her side. Myra dodged and fired. The bullet hitting the soldier's shoulder, he stumbled back with a sharp cry. Sira struggled to stand and grabbed a fallen branch. She swung it with surprising force at the second soldier's legs. He collapsed, growling in frustration. The fight turned chaotic. Myra pulled Sira up and sprinted deeper into the forest. Branches whipped against Myra's arms and face as they ran. Behind them, the soldiers shouted and chased, their metallic footsteps growing louder. Sira's voice trembled as she spoke. "We must reach the old mining tunnels," she said. "Follow the river. The entrance is hidden." Myra nodded, pushing forward. She refused to let Sira fall. She refused to lose this battle. They reached a small river, glowing with pale blue algae. Sira pointed across it with a shaking hand. "There?" Behind the rocks, Mira helped her across the slippery stones. The water was cold, numbing Mira's boots instantly, but they made it to the other side, hiding behind a cluster of boulders. Sira knelt, coughing. Her voice was soft. "Thank you for not leaving me." Mira touched her shoulder gently. "I owe you too," she said. "You saved my life back there with that branch." Sira gave a weak smile. "It was a lucky hit," she whispered. Mira scanned the area, then found the tunnel entrance a narrow opening covered by vines. She pushed them aside and helped Sira inside. The air inside the tunnel was cool and damp, smelling of old stone and rust. The ground dipped downward, leading into deeper darkness. Far behind them, the soldiers' voices echoed faintly. "They went this way," one shouted. "Find them inside the tunnel." Myra turned on a small light attached to her rifle. The dim beam cut through the darkness. Sira leaned against the wall, shaking and pale. Myra checked her wound again, tightening the bandage. "You're going to be okay," she said. Sira looked up at her with tired eyes. "You still trust me." Even now, Myra didn't hesitate. "You trusted me first," she said. "You begged for mercy from someone you thought was a monster. Now I know you're not my enemy." Sira smiled faintly, though tears formed in her glowing eyes. "In my culture, offering to warm someone's bed doesn't mean what you think," she whispered. "It means loyalty, protection, a promise to stand with them." Mira stopped, surprised. "So you were offering your loyalty?" Sira nodded slowly. "Yes. Because I thought humans would kill me, but you didn't. And now, I trust you with my life." Before Myra could answer, a loud crash echoed at the tunnel entrance. The soldiers had found them. Their metallic footsteps rang through the hollow tunnel. Mira lifted her rifle, her eyes sharp with determination. Sira stood beside her, barely able to stand, but refusing to back down. Together, they faced the darkness ahead and the enemies behind. Their alliance was no longer just survival. It was a bond forged in danger, truth, and trust. Mira pulled Sira into the abandoned outpost, closing the heavy metal door behind them. The growl outside still echoed through the burning forest, making the walls vibrate softly. Inside the outpost, the lights flickered weakly, but stayed on. Dust floated in the air like old memories, rust covered the corners, and broken screens blinked with dead signals. It was not comfortable, but it was safe for now. Sira leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Her pale blue skin was losing color, and her wounds were darkening. Myra watched her carefully, wondering how much strength she had left, even injured. Sira still had the body of a trained warrior, sharp features, strong shoulders, and eyes that never stopped searching the room for danger. Mira walked to a small table and pulled out the medkit stored under it. "Sit down," she said, her voice firm but not unkind. Sira hesitated before obeying. She sat slowly, watching Mira with the same fear she had shown from the beginning. Fear mixed with confusion. Fear mixed with something almost like hope. Mira opened the medkit, took out a clean cloth, and moved closer. When she reached for Sira's arm, Sira flinched again. Mira stopped, her voice calm. "I'm trying to help you." Sira looked away, ashamed of her reaction. "I know. But I don't understand why," she whispered. "Because you're hurt," Mira said simply, as if that explained everything. Sira watched as Mira cleaned the blood from her side. Every touch made Sira tense, but she didn't pull away. After a few minutes, the bleeding slowed. Myra wrapped a band around the wound to keep it stable. Sira's voice broke the silence. "You humans are not like they told us." Myra raised an eyebrow. "What exactly did they tell you?" Sira took a slow breath, trying to gather the right words. "They said humans are monsters, that humans enjoy war more than peace, that you kill without mercy," she said. Her voice trembled as she added, "They told us never to be captured, because humans keep prisoners in cages, experiment on them, break them." Myra grimaced. "That is a lie," she said firmly. "I know," Sira whispered, looking down at her hands. "I know now." "Because you didn't hurt me?" Mira didn't respond, but her eyes softened for a moment. Sira hesitated, then reached into the broken part of her armor. Her fingers trembled as she pulled out a small metal device. It was round, dark, and had blinking red lights on its surface. Mira stepped back, ready to raise her rifle again. "Easy," Sira said quickly. "It's not a weapon. It's proof." "Proof of what?" Mira asked. "Proof that I was betrayed," Sira said, her voice heavy with pain. She placed the device in Mira's hand. "It records messages, orders, movements." All coded, Mira studied the small device, feeling the weight of it. "Why would your people betray you?" she asked. Sira looked at her with tired eyes. "Because I discovered something," she whispered. "Someone in my clan wants war with humans. A big war. And they needed a reason." She looked at the broken windows, where firelight flickered through the cracks. "My commander blamed humans for an attack that never happened. He planned to kill me and send my body to your colony." To start the war, Myra felt a cold wave run through her chest. Someone had planned to use a dead alien as a message. Someone wanted to push two species into war, and if Sira had not escaped, humans would be blamed for her death. Sira's voice grew weaker. "I stole the device. I ran. They hunted me. They tried to shoot me down." Myra realized that the crash was no accident. It was an execution. Mira lifted her head, listening outside. The deep growl returned, closer this time. Something heavy moved through the trees, shaking the ground under the outpost. Sira's eyes widened. That creature. It followed us. Mira grabbed her rifle and motioned Sira to stand. "We're not safe here," she said. Sira tried to rise, but stumbled. And Mira caught her, holding her steady. The growl came again, louder, deeper, hungry. Whatever hunted them in the night was getting closer, and they had only moments left to escape. The outpost lights flickered again as the deep growl echoed through the forest. Myra held her rifle tight, listening to the slow, heavy steps approaching the metal door. Each step sounded like a hammer hitting the earth, shaking dust from the ceiling. Sara stood behind her, leaning against the wall, still weak from blood loss, but alert. Her glowing eyes were wide with fear. "This creature, it hunts anything warm. Anything alive," she whispered. Myra didn't look back, but her jaw tightened. "We need to move before it breaks in," she said. A loud thud slammed against the door, hard enough to bend the metal inward. Sparks jumped from the hinges. Sira gasped softly. Mira took a step back. Raising her rifle into shooting position that won't hold long, Mira said. Sira nodded, her voice thin. It smells us. It follows heat. The fire from my ship must have drawn it. The creature slammed the door again, this time with a roar that shook the room. The lights blinked out for a moment, plunging them into darkness. In that brief moment, Mira felt the ground shake as the beast charged. The door ripped open with a metallic scream. Cold night air rushed inside. Carrying a rotten smell, Mira fired the moment she saw a shadow fill the doorway. The bullet lit the room in a quick flash. The beast jumped back, snarling in the next flash of light from the broken panels. Mira saw its shape, huge, taller than any human. Covered in black scales that shimmered like wet stone, its eyes glowed a sick green, empty of thought or mercy. Long claws scraped the dirt floor as it moved forward again. Sira tried to stand straight, but her legs shook too much. Still, she grabbed a broken metal pipe and held it like a weapon. Mira did not have time to tell her to drop it. The beast lunged again, and Mira fired another shot. The bullet hit, but it only slowed the creature for a second. Its hide was thick, built for survival. It roared and threw itself at the wall, sending dust and metal pieces crashing to the floor. "Back door," Mira said quickly, grabbing Sira's arm. Sira nodded and limped toward the rear of the outpost. Mira covered her, firing short bursts to push the monster back. But the beast was fast, too fast for its size. It leaped sideways, avoiding the bullets, and crashed onto the ceiling. Metal beams bent under its weight, raining debris on the floor. "Hurry!" Mira shouted as she pulled Sira through the narrow hallway. Behind them, the creature tore through the wall like it was paper. Its claws scraped the floor as it chased them. Sira stumbled, nearly falling. Mira caught her again, holding her upright with one arm while still firing with the other. Sira's voice shook. "I'm slowing you down. Doesn't matter," Mira said firmly. "We survived together." They reached the back door, but it was jammed from rust and age. Mira kicked it twice, but it barely moved. The beast roared behind them. Closing in, Sira stepped beside Mira, pain in her eyes but determination on her face. "Together," she said. They shoved the door with their combined strength. It burst open, and they stumbled out into the cold night. Branches snapped as they ran into the forest. The moonlight gave little help, only shining enough to show shadows. The beast's roars echoed behind them, following their heat trail easily. Mira and Sira rushed through thick undergrowth. Mira grabbed a fallen branch and wiped it on Sira's bleeding side. Sira winced, but understood. The blood hit the cold dirt and steamed. It might distract the creature. Even for a moment, they hid behind a fallen tree, breathing hard. The forest shook as the beast approached the blood spot. Sniffing, confused, for a few seconds they had silence. Sira leaned against Mira, her strength nearly gone. Mira whispered, "We only bought a moment. We need a plan." Sira nodded slowly, and in the pale moonlight, with danger still hunting them, she whispered, "I know how to kill it."